Over the past decade, the tourism industry has boomed, and appetite for international travel has increased globally. The trend for overseas travel has placed demand pressure on the airline industry, recording a whopping 34% increase in long-haul flights compared to 2017. Despite the demand, the airline industry recorded lower profits on long-haul flights. Specifically, Qantas recorded a 28% reduction in the international sector. Although consumer demand is high, the pressure of low-cost carriers combined with high fixed cost, constant fluctuation of prices of crude oil, heavy tariffs, aviation and government regulations all put pressure on the overall profitability of the international sector. This anomaly is value destroying the airline industry, and despite the high growth in the international travel, companies seek to adopt a strategic advantage by creating a point of difference and value proposition. To gain further insight of the macro analysis of the airline industry, Porter's 5-force model will help to identify competition, new entrants into the industry, supplier power, buyer power, and the threat of substitute products and services in the market. According to Deloitte, the Australian airline industry contributed $34.6 billion, making up 2% of our national GDP. The International Air Transport Association from 2019 to 2020 recorded almost 43 million international passenger movements. This is an increase of 34%. Demand for air travel over the next 2 decades is set to double, enabling people and nations to trade, explore and share the benefits of innovation and economic prosperity. The barrier to entry is high, as a significant amount of capital is required to enter the market. Competitive rivalry is high due to an increase in the buy power of the internet. Low-cost airlines work on low profit margins that attract consumers to take advantage of the advertised low prices. For example, AirAsia and Jetstar adopting low-price strategies for international flights to Asia, which has impacted our major market full-cost carriers. Specifically, Qantas recorded only a 2% gross profits in this sector despite the rising demand. Due to the nature of consumers being more price sensitive, consumers being more attracted to switch between airlines, causing high competition and rivalry. The industry is also threatened by supplier power, subject to labour and staff costs, which according to the IBIS World makes up 40% of airlines' overall cost. In addition, the duopoly upstream of Boeing and Airbus has boosted supplier power, and the fluctuating fuel prices plays a significant role in the profitability of airlines. The industry is threatened by substitutes like road and rail and marine. Although there is an imminent threat to domestic travel with the increase in customers being attracted to speed rails, international travel is far less subjected to the substitute threat due to the long time lapse to get to destinations. From rising competition, changing consumer demands, to labour deficit combined with ongoing fluctuations in the fuel prices, airline decision makers need to constantly adjust their strategies to remain profitable. Organisations that successfully monitor and respond to changes in the macro environment can differentiate from the competition and create a Before any kind of strategy or tactical plan can be implemented, it is fundamental for organisations to conduct a situational analysis. Pestle analysis can be used by organisations to identify political, economic, social, technological and environmental and legal changes in the external macro environment. According to CASA, Australia's international airline industry remains heavily regulated at a Commonwealth level, as it is subject to the detailed capacity controls that are part of the long-established system of the bilateral air service agreements. Airlines are bound by political and government regulations and are impacted by things like international trade, terrorism, war, disease outbreak, competition, and tax policy. In addition, the volatility of fuel and foreign exchange are an inherent part of the operations of an airline. Heavy laws like the anti-noise pollution pose limitations on international travel and restricts landing and takeoff times. Another factor is the advancement of technology. Consumers look for convenience and saving time in their travel experience. The advantage of app integrations through facial recognition and fingerprint identification could see competitors gain strategic advantage in adding value to their experience. The increasing awareness of health and well-being as social factors contributing to the advancement of to integrate of healthier cabins. Companies that are improving air conditioning systems and lowering cabin pressure to reduce the effects of jet lag. Similarly, conscious consideration of the environment to further reduce carbon emissions has seen the advancement of lighter, more fuel-efficient aircrafts made on carbon fibre composites. In summary, the external environment provides insight to consumer needs and trends and plays a critical role in shaping the industry. Companies that strategically adopt a unique point of difference and stay ahead of their competitors, and they could charge premium costs to improve the experience, would gain a strong advantage through value adding versus value destroying the airline industry.